Stand on the walls of York in northern England today, and you're standing where Roman soldiers kept watch nearly 2,000 years ago. Walk through the shambles, and you're following streets first laid down by Vikings. Touch the stones of the Minster, and you're touching a building that took 2.5 centuries to complete. This is a city that has refused to die. Emperors have died within these walls. Kings have ruled England from here. Armies have besieged it. Plague has ravaged it. Bombs have fallen on it. And through everything, York has endured. What you're about to see is different from any history documentary you've watched before. Using advanced AI techniques, we've transformed centuries-old engravings and faded photographs into living, breathing scenes. You're not just going to learn about York's past, you're going to see it as it actually was. This is the story of York. 30 minutes, 2,000 years. Let's begin at the beginning. It's 71 AD. The Roman 9th Legion pushes deep into hostile territory, chasing British tribes who refuse to submit to Roman rule. They reach a strategic point where two rivers meet, the Ouse and the Foss, and there they stop. Not to rest, but to stay. They build a fortress. Timber walls first, then stone. They call it Iberacum. The 9th Legion makes York their home. 5,000 men, battle-hardened veterans who fought across the empire. They're building bathhouses and barracks, temples and administrative buildings. This isn't a temporary camp. This is the beginning of a city. But then something happens that still puzzles historians today. Sometime in the early 120s, the 9th Legion vanishes. 5,000 soldiers, their standards, their records, all gone from history. Where they went, we may never know. The 6th Legion arrives to replace them, and they remain in York for the next 3 centuries. Iberacum isn't just a frontier fort anymore. It's becoming something far more important. In 211 AD, Emperor Septimius Severus arrives in York after campaigning against the Scots. He's old, exhausted, and dying. He draws his last breath in this city, at the very edge of his empire. His son Caracalla stands in York and makes a decision. This place, this northern fortress, becomes the capital of Britannia Inferior. Half of Roman Britain is now governed from York. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Emperor Constantius dies in York in 306 AD. His soldiers immediately proclaim his son, Constantine, as the new emperor. Constantine doesn't just rule, he transforms the Roman Empire. He legalizes Christianity, ending centuries of persecution. He moves the capital to Constantinople and reshapes the entire structure of imperial power. Western civilization pivots on decisions made by a man who begins his reign right here in York, a statue of whom can be found just outside York Minster today. By 314, York has a bishop attending church councils in Arles. Christianity isn't just tolerated, it's becoming the establishment. The city that was born as a military fortress is now a center of faith and imperial power. When Rome finally withdraws from Britain a century later, the greatest empire the world has ever known crumbles. But York doesn't just disappear with it. The Roman walls begin to crumble. Stone is taken for other buildings. The carefully laid streets disappear beneath mud and new construction. But people remain. The Anglo-Saxons don't conquer an abandoned city. They inherit one, transform it, and make it their own. Iberacum becomes Eophora. For 2 centuries, York adapts to the post-Roman world. Then, on Easter Day in 627, King Edwin of Northumbria, a pagan warrior who spent his life fighting for power, walks into a small wooden church in York and allows himself to be baptized. One man's conversion might not sound like much, but convert, kingdoms follow. Christianity spreads across Northumbria like wildfire, and York becomes its epicenter. The small wooden church where Edwin is baptized will eventually become the minster, but that transformation will take centuries. By 735, York's bishop has been elevated to archbishop. York is now on equal footing with Canterbury. England doesn't have one Christian centre anymore. It has two, and York is one of them. And then the city produces a mind that will shape European thought for generations. Alcuin becomes master of the York School in 778. Under his guidance, it becomes one of the most respected centres of learning in Europe. Monks travel from across the continent to study here. When Charlemagne needs someone to lead education across his vast empire, he chooses Alcuin from York. This is York's golden age of learning. While most of Europe struggles in the darkness after Rome's fall, York keeps the lamp of knowledge burning. But across the North Sea, other men are building ships and sharpening weapons. They've heard about the wealth of English monasteries, the gold in the churches, the riches waiting to be taken. They're coming, and nothing will stop them. November 866. The longships come up the Ouse in the pre-dawn darkness. Hundreds of warriors, Danish and Norwegian, the great heathen army that has already torn through eastern England. They surround Eoforwic before the sun rises. The Anglo-Saxon defenders never stand a chance. By nightfall, the Vikings hold the city. They will keep it for nearly 100 years. They rename it Jorvik, and they don't just occupy it, they rebuild it. This isn't a raid, this is colonization. Viking families settle here, craftsmen set up workshops, merchants establish trade routes connecting York to Dublin, to Scandinavia, to the wider Norse world. Archaeological digs at Coppergate in the 1970s uncover Viking streets so well preserved that leather from their workshops, wood from their buildings, even seeds from their gardens survive 1,000 years underground. Jorvik becomes one of the most important cities in the Viking world. At its height, it may be home to 10,000 people, massive for the time. They mint their own coins here, bearing the names of Viking kings most people have never heard of. The city hums with industry, metalworkers, jewelers, woodcarvers, leatherworkers, all plying their trades in the narrow streets. But Viking rule is unstable, violent. Kings rise and fall. The last one has a name that tells you everything you need to know about Viking culture. Eric Bloodaxe. That's his actual name, earned through brutality. In 954, Eric is killed in battle, and the Viking kingdom of York dies with him. For a brief moment, York is simply English again. The Anglo-Saxons reclaim their city, but that peace lasts exactly 1 century, 1066, the year that changes English history forever. Norwegian Vikings come first, trying to reclaim what their ancestors lost. King Harold Godwinson marches north and meets them at Stamford Bridge, just outside York. He crushes them utterly. The Viking Age is over. Harold celebrates in York. He has saved the city, saved the north. Then riders arrive with desperate news. William of Normandy has landed in the south with an army. Harold has to march back immediately. He covers 200 miles in 4 days, reaches Hastings exhausted, and dies there with an arrow in his eye. Or so the legend goes. William wins. And York is about to learn that Norman rule will be the harshest yet. William of Normandy, later known as William the Conqueror, rides into York in 1068. He looks at the city that has defied Roman legions and Viking armies, and he gives one order.
Build me a castle!
The foundation of York Castle is laid, and William stations a garrison there to ensure the city remembers who rules England now.